The Orlando Magic have been on a hunt since 2012, when superstar big man Dwight Howard left the team for the bright lights of LA, and with his departure, to be frank, the Magic were pretty irrelevant for an entire decade. They'd see some decent success and make some first-round playoff experiences, but nothing substantial. They were always stuck in the no man's land of NBA standings. Too bad to make any deep runs, but too good to get any peak lottery odds. But last year, that all changed. After a long overdue blow-up of the roster, the Magic stunk for 2 whole seasons, allowing them to get those high draft picks and acquire high prospects like Franz Wagner and Jalen Suggs. And then the perfect storm hit. They landed the #1 overall pick for 2022. The only 2 #1 overall picks to start their career in Orlando were Dwight Howard and Shaquille O'Neal, 2 Hall of Fame big men. And now they have Paolo Banchero, a young star that has taken the torch of powerful Orlando centers. The Magic are fun again. Let's dig into what has made Paolo pop and where he could go from here. First off, we gotta talk about the offense. This is where Paolo has made his bread and butter for his very young career. The 6'10", 250-pound football player of an NBA forward debuted with 27 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists. This makes Banchero the only 5th player since the merger of the NBA and ABA to debut with over 25, 5, and 5. The guy to do it before him, LeBron James. Through his impressive frame, the 20-year-old has found ways all season to power through opponents around the rim while still staying light on his feet to unlock a solid mid-range game. But the most important of his game, honestly, is his understanding of it. If you watch Banchero, it's hard to find him ever too wound up throughout the shot clock. He knows what's in his bag, and within the scope of his control. He holds the pace of his team and doesn't try to overextend himself beyond the offense. Currently averaging 21.4 points and 4 rebounds, the young forward understands when his team needs him to score and when to keep the ball moving. So we have an inside presence and high IQ. How about a little dribble package? That's right. Don't underestimate Paolo's shot creation in space. The tall forward has an unassuming handle with the ball. He is capable of stringing some moves together to create space in the mid-range or lead it into a drive to the basket. Paolo is only shades off of the league average for 2-point percentage, which might not sound like a lot, but please consider that this is a 20-year-old who was basically given the keys to an NBA team. Consistently is already hard enough for a rookie. Imagine being such a major focal point of a team while adjusting to the pros. Paolo has had huge nights that show his true potential, and some duds that remind us how much he still has to unlock in his game. It also comes with part of the way Orlando is running things right now. Head coach Jamal Mosley stressed all preseason that he wants the team to be much more free-flowing than pure play calling. He wants his young players to go through those growing pains of learning the NBA schemes on the fly. Guys like Paolo, Franz, Cole Anthony, and Ball are all in their young 20s, attempting to dissect pro defenses, and it comes with a lot of hiccups. It's the upside this idea presents that could make it all worth it. As we mentioned earlier, Banchero has the IQ and patience in an offense to eventually become a player that could impose their will on a game, start to dictate the flow, how things run in a half-court, and how the Magic are going to start finding their true success. It probably won't be from beyond the arc though. At the time of this recording, Paolo is shooting just under 32% from the 3-point range. Not horrible by any means, but still about 4.5% lower than the league average. It's enough to make teams respect the shot, but not enough to make it a real worry. Honestly, I'm not looking too far into this though. Banchero has so many other gears to his offensive machine that if one is a little rusty, he'll still manage. Plus, the last 2 #1 overall picks for Orlando didn't shoot ever. So actually, maybe we should tell Paolo to keep with traditions and tone it down a bit. Okay, fine. Would it be nice if he had a more reliable jumper? Sure, it's a threes league, and eventually, you'd want to see him get a better handle on it. But again, I'm not too worried. And it's partly because of his defensive transformation. During his days at Duke University, his defensive effort was a cause of concern all year. It seemed like maybe he knew he was a shoe-in for a top selection in the NBA, so maybe it'd be okay to save your energy here and there. But so far in the league, we've seen him take a real 180 when it came to stopping opponents. Yes, Paolo can now reliably hang his hat on being basically average at defense. Hey, that's a lot to ask of a rookie. Not everyone can be Evan Mobley and have a sixth sense of where the ball is right out of the gate. Paolo has a defensive box plus-minus right now of -1. I'm counting that. That's average in my book. He's also able to use strong box outs and showcase that hustle people weren't sure he had, to average almost 7 rebounds a game. He's had multiple double-doubles this year, with rebounds and a season-high 16 boards. You can only imagine there's only more for him in the future, on this side of the ball. The next thing I feel is important if someone's going to be the next star of a franchise is, personally, you need to have that right mixture of charisma and killer instinct, able to win young fans over while demolishing another man. It's a tricky line. We've seen players like Kobe craft his Mamba mentality, Tim Duncan's stoic stare as he silently wins chips, and Trae Young is currently, doing something with the Hawks. Sorry, maybe that's a low blow, but at the time of this recording, the Trae situation in Atlanta is exactly what you do not want in a leader. You need someone that teammates say is fun to play with and shows up when it matters most, whether it's a playoff game, the game they're injured, or a practice. I think this might be where Paolo shines the brightest. When Banchero walked into Duke as a young kid, he immediately walked into a winning culture. He learned the ropes of what it meant to be the face of success and how to handle the pressure. The fanfare in the arena of watching the Blue Devils is almost like a spiritual awakening. It's college basketball, but treated like a pro playoff game. Paolo was able to take that into Orlando as they rebuild back into relevancy. He also has explained in interviews his desire to try and make a connection with everyone on that Duke team. It was probably pretty clear to everyone that he'd be a one-and-done college hooper, but that didn't stop the young man from buying into the camaraderie aspect of team building. This might still be early days to consider him a true leader, but he has the foundation to turn into one, and it's partly because of his mother. Growing up in Seattle, the basketball scene was prominent, even without a pro team for years. Right there by his side growing up was his mom, aka Coach. Paolo gained an important earpiece into the world of hoops from a very young age. He references those years of his mother coaching him as having that whisper in his ear of what he needed to do 24/7. He got feedback on how his game needed to grow and what should be happening on the court in every circumstance. His mother taught him about that alpha mentality, how someone on every team needs it in order to make those deep playoff runs. Paolo says he takes that challenge head-on as his responsibility. So, as we wrap it up, what'd we learn? We learned that Paolo Banchero made history with literally his first career game. Oh, also here's a last little minute fun fact. He's also only the 3rd #1 overall pick to average over 20 points in the first 5 games, joining Kareem and LeBron. That's a short list, Paolo, one that only 2 leading scorers in NBA history have been on. We also learned he has a deep tool chest for his age that he uses steadily no matter the situation. His coach believes in free-flowing offense, and once Banchero fully settles into his career, we could see that Magic team really start to take off. They already have ridiculous lengths to throw at everyone. Now imagine they're one big cohesive ball of limbs. They can run lineups when only the point guard of the team is under 6'8", a team of trees led by Mr. Banchero himself. He's heard the whispers of leadership his whole life. It's time to finally put them all together.